Welcome inside the coach's office for a season preview of the Pikiell Podcast presented by Horizon. We are just days away from the start of the season. Rutgers to take on Wagner. Coach, how are we feeling?
9 years, you and me.
9 years.
Yeah, pretty good combination. Yeah, you're always feeling great at this time of the year. Undefeated and looking forward to, an exciting year, and thankful to be back first and foremost, and thankful to our fans for selling out all of our games, and thankful for this group of student athletes that picked Rutgers, and some stayed with us. Got some newcomers, got some rookies. So fun times ahead.
Yeah, no question. And, we had the Meet the Team night a couple weeks ago, the Coach Boylan Award too, which was phenomenal. And you said one thing in there, said a lot, but one thing that caught my ear was when you were talking about the consecutive sellouts and what this season's going to be like and the interest. And it made me think back to, which we've talked about before, year one, you weren't popular on campus and you had to go sell the program here. You fast forward to where we are now, you can't get a seat in the building. Not only is everybody interested here and locally, you've got national attention. Just think about a word you like to use, the journey you've been on and where you are going into year 9.
Yeah, when every now and then you take a little bit of a snapshot and look back. The world I live in is always looking forward. But it's just thankful for my staff, first of all, and some of them have been with me since day one. So thankful for that. And I remember giving out, flip-flops to, the student organizations on campus, and going to the frat houses and delivering sandwiches and, doing a lot of those things to generate some interest in a basketball program that wasn't generating a lot of interest. And now to think about all the consecutive sellouts and not being able to have a ticket for a game, and just a credit to a lot of people that worked our marketing department, the people here at Rutgers that, have stuck by us, and then the loyal fans and the loyal students that come out and root for us every day, and obviously the excitement the league brings too. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but yeah, thankful we've come a long way. Looking forward to the journey ahead.
And that journey officially will start with Wagner next Wednesday. The anticipation for the season. You've been with these guys a long time, obviously, because you get your time with them. Once you get there, is it almost like, all right, let's take a deep breath, now we start the season? And then what do you expect that building to be like night one?
I will tell you, it's always a journey. Like we brought this group back on June 15th, and so your first practices are exciting. Obviously, you get them back in September when all the students are on campus, and then there's a whole nother round of excitement. Then we get to 20 hours a week as opposed to 8 hours a week. There's excitement. Meet the Team night's exciting, but there's nothing like the home opener, playing a really good, Wagner program. Went to the NCAA tournament last year, a local program too. And I think for our guys, we got 9 newcomers. So they haven't played in the Jersey Mike's arena yet with those groups. So I think there'll be some butterflies. Always as a coach, I have mine. But I think there's an excitement about our program. We got, a really exciting group of guys. Exciting athletically, exciting physically, exciting mentally, the way they approach the game, the way they attack things. So, hopefully we get that old school, Jersey Mike's vibe with a new group of guys, and could be an unbelievable combination.
How do you think, when you look at this makeup of this roster, how do you think the guys are handling, the attention, the expectations, and when you see them work every day, what is that like?
You always worry about, because the phone just is false, credit. And, we're 0-0, and I remind them every day. Mm-hmm. And I remind them of what's going to make them a winner. It's how they play together, kind of defense, what kind of rebounders we're going to be. Are we going to share the game? So there's a lot of reminders of that, because the phone just takes you in places that, aren't good for the immediate success of your basketball program. So try to get them to enjoy the present, and every day in practice we have winners and losers, and I make it well known at the end of the day that, when we throw it up, as the season begins, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a winner and a loser. Make sure we're on the win side.
And you saw that, by the way, the phone with Trayvon Diggs of the Cowboys going at a reporter literally minutes after an NFL game. So it even goes to the pro level, too. So it's not unique here. Ace and Dylan, obviously a lot of preseason accolades, a lot of attention. National Player of the Year, they're up for those awards. How have they handled things and their progress so far as we get close to the season opener?
It kind of like huge tip of the hat. I mean, they're 18 years old, and the attention has been a lot, but they have a work ethic about them, which is a credit to the people around them and their families. They have a love of basketball, and their teammates really like them. So I think those things are all great. They got, talent and an ability that we haven't had here, on the campus, but they also are young, and I want them to enjoy college. I want them to enjoy their first home game experience, yet I want, a lot is expected, and, they love the expectations too. So they've been fun to coach. They're great kids, and they're workers, and I think that's really important.
All right, let's talk about the rest of the roster now, which is going to make up what this team is in terms of leadership. Got a couple of captains. One's a newcomer, one's not. What have they been like on the floor in terms of guiding this team so far?
Jeremiah from day one. Since the season ended last year, he's kind of taken over, as the vocal guy, as the experienced guy in the locker room. He's a good worker. He stayed here all summer long and helped mentor the young guys. We brought in 5 new freshmen, and then the transfers come in, so they're here for the first time too. And Zach Martini has been, phenomenal. He's a worker, first of all, and I think that's really important. If you're going to be a true leader, you got to be a guy that the guys respect for your work ethic, and both those guys have quality work ethic. And Tyson Acuff's been really good. Jordan Durkak has been really good. These other guys that we brought around, PJ Hayes in the gym works at it, and he's experienced. So we got a lot of experienced mouths out there, and I think they're all finding their way, but those 2 guys have stood out in that department for sure.
You mentioned Hayes. I thought in the St. John's exhibition, he stood out. His toughness, the way he plays the game. Jamichael Davis, I mean, just fun to watch. The motor that kid has been remarkable. You mentioned Durkak. Defensively, I know you like to start and finish your teams with defense, but now you can shoot too. Is the rebounding the one thing that has bothered you so far going into the season, would you say? Because everything else seems like they're locked in.
Jared, it's so early in the year, everything bothers you.
Yeah.
So there's no coach, and I'm not the only one, no coaches. You got to figure out your rotation. You got to figure out guys you can trust. You got to figure out your defense. You got to figure out your offense. I haven't liked our defense, to be quite honest. We gave up 91 points. That's not a recipe for success in any league. But we got a lot of lessons that we learned in that game too. So that was a good thing, in some ways. And when you're playing yourself every day, it's at the expense of yourself.
Yeah.
So if your offense looks good, it's probably because your second team or their defense isn't very good, or vice versa. If your defense is really good, it's probably not. So until you start playing other people, you can't really tell where you are. And that's what, the St. John's game was a good balance for us, with no prep really, right. And no film or any of that stuff, trying to feel where you are, and also try to explain to guys this is big time college basketball, where guys are going to screen you, guys are going to go for every rebound, and that's what happens in those. So yeah, I'm not pleased with anything really. Like we're able to shoot the ball a little bit better, we got some more talent on some ends of the floor, but we just got to keep getting better, and we're like every team in America. We just got to, keep figuring things out, and if we do, we got the pieces, and I like that part of it.
It does seem to me, having seen them enough now, I haven't been here every day clearly, but I've seen a good handful of practices. I've seen a couple of exhibition games. It does seem though that you have the team you've built has really good balance up and down, where you've got shooters, you got guys that can defend. Didn't even mention Emmanuel yet, who I think looks fantastic inside, can get better. Would you say, looking at the roster and what you've constructed here, that balance, you at least like that?
Yeah, I do. I like the options that we have. I like the different lineups. We could put out a shooting lineup. We could put out a lineup with the elite size. We could put out a defensive lineup where they're really focused on that. Obviously, it helps when you have, guys with talent. Now, they're young. Our freshman class is obviously young, but they're talented, and we got the right blend too of veterans. So in this world of the portal and rosters changing, I think, my staff did a really good job of putting the pieces together. Now, you got to stay healthy, and you got to play well together, and you got to substitute the right guys at the right time. Our 5 spot, I really like. We have 3 different 5s. Lathan Somerville getting better and better. Martini's very different because he can shoot deep threes that Emmanuel can't, but Emmanuel's huge and can rim run as good as anybody and as physical as could be, and probably one of our better screen setters. So, every position's a little bit different, but they all have a unique skill set, and they bring that to our program. Now we got to put the pieces in at the right time and those kind of things. But that's the challenge I have, and I'm thankful for that challenge. It's nice to have those pieces to move around the board.
It's funny with Zach, the St. John's game. I was sitting there watching it, and I guess we were 15 minutes into the game. I said to my son, like, he hasn't even taken a shot yet, and his patience. And once he got it, though, it was as if he was in the flow, and it was no problem. And he just plays I don't know. I was impressed by his patience and yet how well he played on the defensive end.
He's a veteran.
Yeah,
and he comes from a winning program, and he's about winning too. So he's never about how many points am I going to score. He does a lot of things that don't show up, but he's capable of scoring points. Then he's capable of being a good rebounder and a good defender. And he's very vocal, but he's been around, and he's great. He's a Rutgers guy, and I like that part of it. He's really brought into the culture here at the university.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to all of it, especially these games at Jersey Mike's Arena. But there is one game at a place that you have taken over. When I remember the Big Ten tournament at Madison Square Garden, where that place was red and it was fun, you got a big one at Madison Square Garden this season against Michigan State. What do you expect from the fans and just that trip into the city?
January 25th, so 1:30. Michigan State. First of all, I want Rutgers Nation, like they always do. We're going to try to take over New York and playing a Hall of Fame coach, one of the best programs in the country, Michigan State. Need everyone there. Let's pack the place. I think it's great for, we have a huge alumni base in New York City. We're coming to you too, and big stage. World's most famous arena. It'll be fun. So we need everyone to jump on board and come and support us and make sure that the gym is red.
I will tell you, I am looking forward to the season as much as any. This is the first of many Pikiell podcasts, so good luck next week. Thank you for your time as always, and get there early. Jersey Mike's Arena Wednesday night. Make sure you get here early because the place is going to be packed. Coach, good luck along the way, and we will talk.
Thanks so much.
That's another edition of the Pikiell Podcast presented by Horizon.